a superficial view is that issues relating to foreign and security policy do not resonate in the run-up to an election. But I qualified that by saying that in my view, that's a superficial view. Apart from the references that Mr. Modi makes to Italian Marines and to Indian soldiers being beheaded and issues relating to China, Pakistan and more recently Sri Lanka. Apart from that, if you look at the election campaign in its totality and the number of issues which are being raised, they all relate in some way or another to issues which are foreign policy and economic foreign policy related and to security policy. I mean, if the country which is undergoing massive demographic transition needs to grow, you need to be able to produce jobs. Now, those jobs cannot be produced unless you are, you need to get your domestic policy mix right, but you also need to get your external relationships right. Mr. Modi, for instance, keeps talking about our embassies concentrating more on economic work. Now, clearly, foreign policy may not be directly in the forefront, but I think if you look at organized political parties like the BJP, it is certainly a very much central and an integral part of a judicious mix and matrix that we are pursuing in the run-up to the election. Whichever government is voted into office in May 2014, it will have to expeditiously and in a very focused manner address the drift that we have seen in foreign policy in the last 10 years. To begin with, we need to restore our relationships in India's immediate neighborhood. By that I mean in the South Asia region with our immediate neighbors. We also need to critically assess and critically address the two important relationships with China and the United States. We also need to be able to restore our position in the multilateral system. By that I mean the United Nations, its specialized agencies in the World Bank and the IMF. I've been of the view that our foreign service, who are the instruments in this, the ministries of external affairs and commerce and industry, they need to support our economic entities much more proactively. In other words, you should not look at this dichotomy between private sector actors and the government. The government must be seen to be providing an enabling environment for the private sector to enhance exports, to attract foreign direct investments. Look, at the end of the day, decisions on outward investment or incoming foreign direct investment are not taken on the basis of philanthropy or altruism. They are taken on the basis of hard reality. That reality is the investor going to make money? Let me tell you that from my point of view, foreign direct investment or capital comes with a very well-developed sense of sensors. Those sensors first look at whether there is political stability in a country. They look at whether there is the rule of law, whether there is intellectual property protection, and then they see whether that's an attractive investment for them to go in and make money. Now, sometimes you get very excited by the fact that FDI has increased. It may not be an increase due to positive steps that you've taken. It may be because the rest of the world is not looking so good. Like in the last few weeks, if you say that the Sensex is rising, it may be because there is expectation that Mr. Modi is coming in. I think that's certainly a positive factor. There may be some celebration that Mr. Chidambaram has announced his retirement in a sense, along with other senior Congress leaders. But it may also be due to the fact that Russia has become a question mark in terms of for people investing capital. China has not successfully addressed its challenges. Europe is still plateaued, etc. So India may be marginally more attractive destination for investment than others. So capital is mobile. So you need to get your policy matrix right. You must be able to have stable tax regimes, You must not treat the foreign investor in an uncharitable manner by taxing retrospectively. Maybe the best thing to do is to offer advanced taxation, so they have a sense of predictability. So there is a lot that can be done in this area, and the Foreign Service has to be at the cutting edge. The Foreign Service has to be the one which is the eyes and ears of the government, both outside the country and in terms of driving the other players inside.